Well, in this we have to discuss about these functional components, their working, and some other related information about these components. So now let's begin. Well, as we have discussed earlier, mainly we have four functional components in our computer system. These components are input devices, processing unit, output devices, and storage. Fine. As I have told you earlier, these input devices are the devices through which we can input the data. Fine. And this processing device is our CPU. And I have told you earlier that this output device or these output devices are the devices through which we can get the output or through which we can see the final result. Fine. And then at last we have this storage. This storage is responsible for storing all the data. Fine. That data can be your temporary data, it can be your permanent data, it can be your results, or sometimes it can be your program files. Fine. Now let's begin. Well, here we have this simple flow. Here in this diagram we can see that we have these input devices over here, then the center part is termed as our CPU, and then over here we have this output devices. Fine. Now in general, as I have told you earlier, that our computer works on this IPO cycle. Fine. In the IPO cycle, first we have to give some inputs, then the CPU will process the inputs, and then it will generate the output, and that output will be given to the output devices. Fine. Now inside this CPU we have two functional units, and these two functional units are termed as CU and ALU. Fine. In this video we have to discuss about this CU and ALU in detail. Fine. And then when the CU and ALU works on the data, after calculating the result, that result is sometimes stored in our computer's storage. So for that, this storage unit or this memory unit is generally used. Fine. Now let's see. Input devices. It is responsible for providing information in the computer and is performed by input unit. Fine. As I have told you just now, that input devices are basically used for getting the input or for taking the input from the user. Fine. Now some most commonly used input devices are keyboard, mouse, camera, and scanner. Fine. So these are some of the most commonly used input devices. We can also include the audio recording softwares as our input device. Fine. So like we have microphones. These microphones are also the examples of input devices. Fine. Now next we have output devices. Output devices are responsible for displaying the data. Fine. These are basically responsible for displaying the data input to computer or processed data in human readable form. Fine. Now generally whenever we type anything in the computer, we are able to see that input in our computer's display. Fine. Or when we process something or when our computer generates any result, that result is also available to us by using these output devices. Fine. So it means that these output devices will show you all kind of output. Fine. Some most commonly used output devices are monitor, printer, plotter, and speaker. Fine. We have so many other output devices also, but these are some of the most commonly used output devices. Fine. Now there is a homework for you all. You have to write at least four input and output devices in your notebook other than these. Fine. Then next we have storage. Well, storage is one of the most important unit of our computer system. Fine. Now when we generate any kind of result or whenever we take any kind of input, that input or that result has to be stored in our computer so that we can use it in future. Fine. Now this is responsible for storing any kind of information permanently. Fine. This storage device is responsible for storing our information permanently, and it is performed by the storage unit. Fine. This task of storing the files or storing the data is performed by the storage unit. Fine. Some most commonly used storage devices are hard disk, CD, DVD, and USB drive. Fine. We have some other, like we have memory cards. Fine. We have SSD drives. So all of these are the examples of storage. Then next we have the most important and the main unit of our CPU, that is termed as our processing unit. Fine. This processing unit is generally responsible for all the operations that we do. Fine. All the outputs that we get and everything that we are doing with our computer. Fine. It means it is responsible for everything that you are doing with your computer or that your computer is showing to you. Fine. Now it is responsible for carrying out the given instructions on the given data. Fine. In easy words, we can say that whenever we input something, this processing unit works on that input and then it returns the output to the user. Fine. So it means it will simply carry out the given instructions on the data that you will input. Fine. Now this processing part is done by the CPU. Okay, the CPU stands for Central Processing Unit. Fine. Now in the CPU we have three components as we have discussed earlier. Fine. These three components are ALU, CU, and then we have this primary memory. This primary memory is available in the computer's motherboard, whereas the storage that we have discussed earlier, that storage is a secondary memory. Fine. So now this ALU stands for Arithmetic and Logical Unit, or Arithmetic and Logic Unit. Fine. This ALU is responsible for carrying out all the types of arithmetical or logical operations. Fine. Then next we have CU, that is Control Unit. This control unit is responsible for controlling the execution of instructions. Fine. And it only executes one instruction at a time. Hence, it supervises and controls the required components to carry out the instructions. Fine. Now, every component of our computer system, every data item, every processing, everything will be controlled by this control unit. Fine. Then next we have this primary memory. Fine. This primary memory is made available to the CPU so that it can store the data and instructions which are being processed. Fine. This primary memory is generally temporary in nature, so it means it is not permanent. There is a part of this primary memory which is temporary in nature and that is not permanent. Okay. Now next we have to discuss about the most important functional component of the computer system, that is termed as our CPU. Fine. This CPU is often termed as the brain of computer. Fine. It is also termed as the computer's brain. CPU stands for Central Processing Unit and it is the brain of our computer system. Brain means it will perform all the operations of our computer. It will take all the decisions. It will manage all the processes. Fine. So everything that we are doing in a computer, it is controlled and managed by the CPU of the computer system. Fine. It should be it. Fine. It controls and directs the internal activities and actions of a computer. Fine. CPU can control and direct the internal activities and actions of a computer system. It means it will simply control and manage everything that is being done inside our computer's CPU. Fine. A CPU does the entire thinking and controlling in a processing action. Fine. It will perform all the types of decisions, take all the decisions, and it will control everything when it is processing a task. Fine. Now all the components of computers are controlled by the CPU. It means everything in our computer is controlled and managed by the CPU only. Fine. This CPU is often called as microprocessor. Fine. So now the processor chip that we have in our computer system, this chip is termed as the CPU. Fine. That circuit board is not the CPU. That circuit board is the motherboard, but that chip that we have in that circuit board of our computer system, that is termed as our processor or that CPU. Fine. Or it is also termed as the microprocessor. Fine. Now this CPU has three basic sections. These three basic sections are ALU, CU and registers. Fine. Just now we have discussed about this ALU and CU, but the only thing that we haven't discussed yet is the register. Fine. Now all the components of CPU work together and also direct and control all the input output operations. Fine. It simply means that our CPU manages and controls everything and also manages the input output operations. Fine. Now all these input devices, output devices and secondary memory, that is our permanent memory, is connected to the computer's motherboard. Fine. And these are connected via some cables, and these cables are termed as the system buses. It's a very important term. System buses are the wires or cables available inside the CPU cabinet. Fine. So जो CPU के box में जितनी भी cables होती हैं, all these cables are termed as the system buses. Fine. Now there's a homework term for you all. You have to learn or read about this motherboard by your own, and we will discuss this term in our next turn now. Fine. Now next we have ALU. ALU stands for Arithmetical and Logical Unit or Arithmetic Logic Unit. Okay. Now this unit performs the computing functions, and these functions are given below. First of all, it can perform all the arithmetical operations, in which we can include the functions like addition, subtraction, multiplication and division. Then next we have, it can perform all the logical operations which involves comparisons such as less than, greater than or equal to operations. Fine. So it means all the logical and arithmetical operations where our computer has to take any kind of decision or where it has to calculate some result, all these operations are managed and controlled by the ALU. Fine. And when it generates some results, these results are stored in the computer's register. Fine. This register is a piece of memory. Now we have to discuss about the register. Well, all the temporary data in our computer is stored inside a memory. Fine. That piece of memory is termed as register, and this register is already available to our computer's motherboard. Fine. Well, because it is inside the computer's motherboard, that's why it has a very small size. It has a very limited size, but it's a very fast memory which is available to our computer's motherboard. Fine. So it means every piece of operation that your computer will process, that process will use the register for the intermediary results. Fine. Then next we have control unit. This control unit directs the entire computer system to carry out or to execute stored program instructions. Fine. It means it will simply manage everything in your computer. It directs the data flow between computer processor, memory and input output devices. Fine. So in easy words we can say that it generally manages everything. It will manage the flow of data in our computer's processor, memory and input output devices. Now next we have to discuss about the term which is machine cycle. Well, generally our computer performs everything in 4 steps. These 4 steps are given below. We have to discuss these 4 steps and then we have to discuss about this term machine cycle. The first step is that the control unit gets the instructions from the memory. It means whenever you do something, some instructions will be given to your control unit by the computer's memory. Fine. Then after getting these instructions, your control unit decides that what is to be done with that particular instruction or that data. Fine. It will check that input or that instruction, and then it will decide that whether it has to be given to the ALU or whether it has to directly push that data to the output devices. Fine. Now when this ALU gets the data, it performs the operations like addition, subtraction or other logical operations, and after that the results are obtained. And for taking these results, again this CU take the results and give it to the memory or storage. Fine. So now here we have total 4 steps. This first and second, and then this third and fourth. Fine. This first and second step is termed as our instruction cycle or instruction time, and this third and fourth step is termed as our execution cycle or execution time. Fine. And both of these cycles or times are combined termed as our machine cycle. Fine. Now the first 2 steps in the given above make it the instruction time, whereas the last 2 are termed as the execution time, and combinedly these 2 times are termed as the machine cycle. Fine. Now let's see once again, we have to discuss this diagram. Fine. Now let's see once again what happens generally. So now whenever you will give some input to your computer, that input or that data will first be given to the computer's memory. Fine. Then after the computer memory, that instruction is given to the CU. Fine. Then here this CU will determine whether it is a operational task or it is just a simple output operation. Fine. If in case in that task you have to perform any kind of calculation or you want to perform any kind of calculation, in that case that task will be given to the ALU. Fine. Then ALU will perform the given operations, and after calculating the result, again this data is given to the CU. Fine. When this CU will get the result, it will send that result to the output devices as well as to the computer's memory. Fine. So it is our complete IPO cycle with the machine cycle. So now this is all for today. So today we have discussed about the CPU, the machine cycle, and then the IPO cycle in detail. Fine.